You know that moment, the one that's just so confusing and honestly a little heartbreaking. The parrot you absolutely love, the one you share your home with, suddenly bites you. It's frustrating, it's painful, and it leaves you asking one huge question. What just went wrong? Well, if you're asking yourself that exact question, you are in the right place. That surprising sharp pinch isn't a sign that your bond is broken. Nope, it's a message. And today, we're going to learn how to translate it. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to completely change how we think about a bite. Then we'll put on our detective hats and figure out the why behind it. After that, we'll learn to read your parrot's mind by spotting the warning signs. And finally, we'll dive into a whole toolkit of positive strategies to build a stronger, happier, and bite-free bond. All right, let's jump right in with the single most important idea you can take away from all of this. That bite, it's not an attack, it's a conversation. You have to remember, parrots are, at their core, wild animals. Biting is a totally natural, instinctive response for them. It is not a personal insult. They are not trying to be malicious or mean. They're trying to communicate something, and fast, usually because their quieter signals didn't get the message across. And this is super interesting. It's so important to know the difference between beaking and actual biting. You see, beaking is just how a parrot explores its world. They use their beak kind of like a third hand to test if your arm is a stable perch. It's gentle. A real bite, on the other hand, is fast, hard, and defensive. It's a very clear stop. Knowing which is totally key to how you should react. Okay, so if a bite is a message, then our job is to become expert code breakers. Let's start figuring out what in the world our parents are actually trying to say. The why almost always falls into one of these buckets. Maybe a new person in the house feels like a threat. Maybe you're reaching into their cage and they get all territorial. Hormones, especially during breeding season, can make them super cranky. And, sometimes it's really simple. They could just be tired, not feeling well, or even just mistaking your finger for a fun new chew toy. Now, this next part can be a little tough to swallow, but it is so important. What if I told you that, without even meaning to, you might be the one teaching your parrot to bite? To really get this, we can use a pretty simple tool from behavior analysis. It's called the ABC model. A is for antecedent. That's what happens right before the bite. B is for the behavior. That's the bite itself. And C is for the consequence, what happens immediately after. And here's the kicker. That C, the consequence, is everything. Because if the bite gets the parrot exactly what it wants, like making you go away or even just getting a big dramatic reaction out of you, the bird learns, hey, this works. It learns that biting is a super effective tool to get its point across. So, how do we break that cycle? Well, the best way is to prevent the bite, from ever happening at all. And we do that by learning to speak our parrot's language, their body language. Before a bite, a parrot almost always gives you a warning. You just have to know what to look for. Watch their eyes. If their pupils are rapidly getting bigger and smaller, that's called eye pinning. See if they fluff up their feathers to look bigger or slick them down tight. If they're leaning away from you, making a low growl, or their whole body just goes stiff, they are practically screaming, I need some space. Respecting these signals is the #1 way to prevent things from escalating. Okay, we get the why. Now it's time for the how. We're going to build our solution not on punishment, which just creates fear, but on a solid foundation of trust and what we call positive reinforcement. The whole idea here is pretty simple, really. We're going to stop rewarding the bad behavior with a big reaction. Instead, we're going to put all our energy into catching them being good. The moment your parrot is calm, or steps up onto your hand gently, or interacts softly, that's the moment it gets your full positive attention and a really good reward. But look, to reward your bird, you've got to know what actually motivates them, because not all treats are created equal. Think about it. If I offered you a salad to run a mile, you'd probably laugh. But what if I offered you a slice of amazing carrot cake? You might just start stretching. Your bird thinks the exact same way. And you can figure out your bird's personal carrot cake with a really simple test. Just offer a few different healthy options all at once and watch. The very first one they go for, that's your jackpot reward. Save that for the big wins. The second and third ones they pick, those are perfect for your regular, everyday training sessions. Now, for this to work, there are 2 rules that you just can't break. First, This whole thing works best when your bird is already on a good, healthy diet. We're not trying to starve them into cooperating. And second, these special treats, they are for training and only for training. The minute they become just another everyday snack, they lose all their motivational magic. So, what does this actually look like day to day? Here's a basic plan. If a bite does happen, stay calm and just briefly step away. No drama. Then focus your energy on short, positive training sessions, like practicing the step up command. You can even use a target stick so you're not always using your hands. And most importantly, reward every single moment of calm, gentle behavior with one of those high value treats you found. Training is a game changer for sure, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. A parrot's behavior is, more than anything, a direct reflection of its overall happiness and well being. Think about it. A parrot that's well fed, gets plenty of sleep, and has lots of cool toys to keep its busy brain stimulated is way less likely to act out. A good diet, a consistent bedtime, foraging toys to solve, and feeling like a safe, loved member of the family flock, these are the building blocks of good behavior. And for that really tricky hormone-driven biting, here's a pro tip from avian behavior experts. You can actually help calm their system down by making them think it's winter. For about 2 weeks, give them 16 hours of complete, total darkness and only 8 hours of light. It can help reset their hormonal cycle and really dial down that aggression. And this really gets to the heart of everything, and it's captured perfectly in this quote from the amazing behavior consultant Liz Wilson. Our parrots aren't little wind-up toys that we own. They are incredibly intelligent, feeling creatures that have their own opinions, their own likes and dislikes. Our job isn't to control them. It's to listen to them. So the real takeaway here isn't just a list of training techniques. It's a new question to start asking yourself. Instead of, how do I stop my parrot from biting me? Try asking, what is my parrot trying to tell me right now? Because the answer to that question, that's the first real step to building an amazing lifelong bond.